Hello guys, everybody. So today we're going to look at SPPM. So for exams, so it's a super fast session. We are only looking at the important points, and also, in such a way that you'll be able to score easily in the exams. Okay. So let's go to the first one, which is explain the software maturity framework. Software maturity framework tells us how developed, organized, and predictable a company's software development process is. It checks how well the company plans its projects, whether past successes can be repeated. All this is like how well they work, how good is their work structure, the way they work, how good is it. That's what software maturity framework is. Okay. Mm, so uh, So it checks how well the company plans its projects, whether past successes can be repeated or not. Whether this process is documented. Do they write it down? Do they list out all of all what they did? Whether the quality is measured, whether the process is improved regularly on a regular basis. And we can't stick to one way of doing things, right? It should be improved. Increasing the efficiency, decreasing the effort that is input, and increasing the output. It divides company into levels of maturity. The software maturity framework divides the company into levels of maturity so that they know where they stand and what to improve. Okay. Describe the principles of software process change. A lot of times in companies, we should not be sticking to one way of doing things, one way of workflow, right? There come new ways of doing the same things, right? So uh, so changing a software process should be slow, planned, and systematic. Okay. So if you ask the team to change the way they work, it should not be like at once you're telling them to do something. It should be slow, planned, and systematic. You have to understand the current problems and set clear goals for improvement. And before changing things, you have to train the people for changing the way they work. If you ask them to change the language that they code in, or you ask them to make different kinds of changes. No, you have to train the team before you do that. Okay. All this subject is in a view that you are the project manager. Okay, come on, let's do that. So you have to apply small changes instead of big changes, and you have to measure results and check if the change helped. You have to apply small changes before big changes. Okay, you should not do big changes, and you have to use feedback to refine the new process. It's basically a continuous improvement cycle. What is software process assessment? Explain its purpose. You know So what is software process assessment? Assessment. What does this assessment word mean? It means, it means almost like giving an evaluation, or giving a feedback, or checking how good it is. You're examining how good it is. That's what assessment is. Software process assessment. Explain its purpose. Answer. Software process assessment is the evaluation of how good or bad the company's current software development process is. How good or bad their workflow, how the work they do, how good or bad it is. So it is that. Um, so what is the process? Why is the reason of the software process assessment? What is the reason that we do it? Is to identify strengths, identify weaknesses, find where improvements can be made, decide which maturity level the company is at, at how good the company's work structure is. Okay. And create a plan for through this we can create a plan for process improvement, right? This assessment helps organizations deliver better quality software. Next, explain CMM, which is capability maturity model, in detail. CMM is a model that defines 5 maturity levels for software organizations. There are 5 levels. Okay. Which are level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. Which is, first one is initial, second one is repeatable, third one is defined, fourth one is managed, fifth one is optimizing. So guys, same thing is in the next after 2 questions also, it's there. So let's go there directly, right? So yeah, explain 5 maturity models, initial to optimizing, with examples. Okay. So the first one is initial. Initial means, for example, when you do a project with your friends in the minor project, So you might not be having the best understanding of the project, or the way you should do it, or the way you should structure it. It's like somebody will be doing something, and it's not, there's no proper planning or process. So that is initial level. Second level is repeatable level. Mm? Which is, we have the by the time you come to the end of the major project, you will have this structure in your mind. You will be able to plan it, in a basic way, and track it also, using checklists and simple schedules. This is kind of a repeatable process. The second level. Okay. So it's like we are giving rating to how good a process is. Five, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. Like that we give to hotels also, right? So remember it that way. But remember these names, okay? Initial, repeatable, defined, managed, optimizing. Okay, just these are simple words, guys. So, but if you remember these names, no, it'll add to your score. Okay, initial one. Initial and repeatable is done. So now defined is like, it's a more higher level thing. So software companies have defined work structure. They have the standard process. In that way only we have to follow and do the software development process. For example, they use standard documented STLC and templates. They document everything that they do, and they write it down. They put it in the company documents, and they follow certain structures. So it is more, so it is, we can expect more better results through that kind of workflow, right? So next comes the managed level. Everything is measured. Okay, measuring, but Inga, this is even better one. Everything is measured, and bug count is measured, and effort and productivity and everything is measured, and it's looked upon like, even bigger companies do that. um, so it's a better way of working. So the fifth level is continuous improvement, which is optimizing means continuous improvement. Companies like Google, Microsoft, they have these teams to even evaluate how good the workflow is and how they can make it better, for their people. How they can decrease the effort, how they can increase the output, what ways they can, what are the improvements that can be continuously made. So these are this is the optimizing level. So these are 5 levels. So these are very simple. Just remember these names: initial, repeatable, defined, managed, and optimizing, and write it in your own words. Okay. In SPPM, you just have to fill good amount of papers and write with good headings, and write it in a structured way. Put headlines, mm, and write about a topic. Then put a headline and write about a topic. Don't make it a big paragraph. Instead, make it small chunks of information, many chunks of information. Okay. Fill papers, guys. Fill papers. So write about software process change and the steps involved. Software process change means modifying and improving the way software is developed. you know so this is the same thing that we saw before, right? So the way we op, the way we the way processors are, so we can change that, so in order to improve it. So some of the steps to do that are: identify the current issues, self improvement goals. Put self improvement goals, study existing processes. So and you have to train the employees, to get them into working better software processes. So these software process changes are important. As the time goes, the softwares are different, updated versions come, and you can make work easier by doing all of these things. And after training employees, you can also implement new processes. Measure results. How good a particular function is working, how good is a particular implementation that you have put forth is working, and provide feedback and refine. Okay, it ensures long-term growth and better software quality. Okay, the explain PSP, personal software process. Personal PSP helps individuals, developers improve their work. Okay, so what is PSP? Personal software process. If you are developing software on your own, if you're an individual programmer, coder, and you develop software, so for you, this process is a these are the good guidelines. It teaches how to estimate time, how to plan work, how to track time, and how to track defects, and how to follow a personal workflow, how to improve personal productivity. Okay, PSP makes a programmer more disciplined and predictable. Okay, everything is not jumbled and in an unprocessed, unsystematic way, but it will help us to improve our workflow and make our output more predictable. Okay, and explain TSP, team software process. TSP is a team level version of PSP. So it focuses on clear team roles, team goals and plans, quality management. So all these are, if you are in a team, no, so these this TSP, team software process, this is a model, these are like guidelines, they will help you to mm, you know get better at team coordination and everything, to have clear team goals, team goals and plans, quality management, team communication, tracking progress, continuous improvement. TSP helps teams deliver software with higher quality and fewer mistakes. Okay, compare PSP and TSP. So PSP is for individual developers, TSP is for development teams. Okay, PSP is focuses on personal performance, TSP focuses on team performance. PSP focuses on time or defect, tracking done personally. An individual code or individual programmer only does that. TSP is like, everything is shared and all the tasks and everything, management and the coding and everything is divided among the team. Okay, so in PSP there's no team roles, everything the one individual person only does. And in TSP there are defined roles. One leader will be there, one manager will be there, front end developer, back end developer, everybody is assigned to certain works, right? So both aim to both these processes aim to improve software quality and productivity. But PSP is personal, individual person does, and TSP is team based. Just to remember this, PSP means personal software process, TSP means team software process. These jargons are important in our exams. Okay, so done. So guys, I guess all the best for your exams. So let's go to the next chapter, which is chapter 2. Okay.